That's the music of Ross Taggart on saxophone. Ross, one of Canada's most talented and beloved jazz musicians, passed away yesterday after a long battle with renal cancer. Just 45 years old.
Ross had this old-fashioned charm about him, almost like he came from another time. This is a quality that Campbell Riga deeply
He played
appreciated.
with complete and total honesty. Any emotion that he was going through at that moment was never covered up by the music, but it became part of it.
It feels like we are actually keeping him with us. There were times when we were writing the music, when he was there looking over my shoulder in a good way. And sometimes I'd think, is this going to be good? Are you going to like this? The response was always, if you like it, I'm going to like it.
I think our job is keeping that alive because it's such a huge hole without Ross here. I think we all try to be a little bit better because we don't have him with us.
I didn't know how to grieve the loss of a dear friend, and I really struggled with that. And this idea was my grieving process. Music really evokes emotion. So when you hear those sounds, it's really quite gripping. And I don't know if I can put it into words, but when I look at the band, you can almost tell what's going through their head. We're missing our friend. There's a lot of pain, but there's also a lot of joy there. Because we're sad, but this music is beautiful, and that's a wonderful thing, and I think Ross would be very proud.
The music is so strong. It's such beautiful music to work with. It made it maybe easier to arrange it because there's such strong compositions to start with.
When you lose someone, as we all have, you look for ways to heal yourself. You look for ways to not get over them, but come to terms with it. And of course, playing music, especially playing Ross's music, has been hugely rewarding.
I don't know if I can explain how music helps with healing, but it does. It's certainly been an emotional journey. It's been great to get to know his own compositions.
That sound of his can't be replaced. But what we can do is show generosity back to Ross by playing his music. In a way, this is something we can do for him that he wasn't able to do in his short life.
Big-hearted, loving. He had an amazing tenor sound.
Sound is so important. It's the first thing that you hear when you listen to music. You hear the sound of it, and he had this gorgeous sound. It was bigger than life.
Just so musical.
Joyous, swinging, grooving, also heartfelt, sensitive. I think the best way to honor somebody like Ross Taggart is to do something that's musical and to do something that involves a lot of the people that were close to him. Hence this idea with the Jill Townsend Big Band, of which he was a founding member. And that band includes a lot of his closest friends.
Ross was such an encouraging person and supportive of other musicians. That was really part of his gift, I think, was his huge level of support that we all felt. He would always call me up and say, "Oh, you know, great job, that was really fun." It was a boost, it kept you going. It's like, oh, well, that's great. And, you know, someone like Ross Taggart saying that to me was just a huge support.
I think these people exist on every scene. Ross was just such an integral part of the jazz scene. He was this larger-than-life character that was everywhere. And I think because he played both piano and tenor saxophone, he was on a lot of gigs and he played a lot. People could really relate to Ross. When you talked to Ross, Ross really cared about how you were doing.
There was also people who weren't musicians who came and heard him play. And because of his personality and because of his generosity of spirit, the ordinary listener would hear Ross play and they would be engaged in the music, they would be drawn in.
It feels like he's with us at times. Different people in the band will come up and say, oh, Ross is definitely with us tonight.
His spirit is here. It's here today, for sure. There's no doubt about it. He had many aspects to his personality. And so in playing his music, we remember those aspects of his personality. They come through in the music. We actually played, I don't know, it was the night after, the couple of nights after Ross died. I remember that night distinctly, and I remember that we were all together, all 17 of us, playing without him. It was so fresh. We played at the now defunct El Barrio restaurant. The place was packed with people, and I remember the feeling in the room that night that we were playing for him. We weren't playing for ourselves. Sorry. It was a beautiful thing because we were playing for him. I think this project is important because everyone in the band was a friend of Ross's. And so by playing his music, we are healing ourselves. We all feel like it's a positive thing that we can do, playing Ross Taggart's music.
Boy, we're going to miss that. Ross Taggart with an all-star band playing his original composition, Tripod. We lost Ross yesterday at the age of 45, and he will certainly be missed not only by the music community here in Vancouver, but right across this country.